Hey everybody, it's Unluck and Undead and Hit Monkey review.
We're Bryce and Monkey. You know, a classic duo like Starsky and Hutch or Turner and Hooch. Okay, fine.
Like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Atta boy, baby!
If anybody in New York can help us, it's my agent.
Eunice Jones, big fan. I have a job for you. Welcome to the majors, baby.
Let's make some money!
Look, all of humanity is about to be wiped off the face of the earth.
Calm down, I got an idea.
I want my body and voice back.
48 hours of physical form.
Okay, yes, I made a deal with the devil.
I don't know. I know I've messed up in the past, but you have the chance to be heroes for once.
Oh wow. David, our first is Hit Monkey review and the Undead Unluck anime manga series.
All right.
Let's talk about Hit Monkey. What do you think?
I shockingly actually really enjoyed this. This was fun.
Yay!
This was like Ghost meets Planet of the Apes meets I don't know what, but this was really fun. It was a neat show, and it just took you for a great ride. I had a lot of fun with this. What about you?
I really enjoyed it. I did not care for the ending of the second season.
Okay.
Because of the it really breaks tradition with what the sacrifice means.
Yeah.
And so and I was kind of like, if you're gonna have the devil, then you should have God. And you should have angels. If you're going to have demons, you should have angels. That's kind of, you would have the two.
One on one
good
shoulder,
and bad,
one on the
good
other.
and evil.
Yes.
Did you get any of that? Monkey. And it is so creative. If those of you who haven't seen it, Hit Monkey is about a assassin, Bryce, who is murdered. And his ghost comes back, but there's also a monkey who's imbued with these kind of magical because he's able to move both in the human world and the monkey world, but he's an assassin. And so he goes around with Bryce and they go on this as assassins. But there is a backstory about there is a cabal that is trying to take over and change the world. But is it for good or not? So I think the thing I liked, and David, you could talk about this as well, is the uniqueness of the story. This is also a Marvel Cinematic Universe story.
Okay.
It's a comic. And it's kind of out there, man. It is, but it's so unique.
No, I agree. It is.
My mind was kind of like,
It's
what am I watching? But in the best way.
Yeah. There's a level of creativity here in how they put this together, just the whole concept of it. Sometimes, you know, the writers get into a room and they're like, hey, what they do on that failed pilot that came on right before One Day at a Time. Let's do that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's this, they're just kind of retreads. This is not anything like that. So they just went in a really bizarre way. Bringing in the devil, I thought was a pretty wild thing there as well. Excellent pick of all the monkeys or chimpanzees to put in this. The species that's white that you usually see in the snow. That was a really cool thing too, because again, out of the box. Now
Yep.
this was neat. I thought I like the animation. I
Yeah.
like the
Wasn't
story
it
in
beautiful
this.
for being the 2D style? The
Say that again.
animation,
Say that again. I'm sorry.
the animation was beautiful for being the traditional
Yeah.
kind of 2D style.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot, and I think it was good to see. I think there's a lot of things you can do now with CGI and computers, and that's fun. But I'm old school, shockingly, in this. But I think this was fun. But the story's not old school, even if it had that
That's
look.
right.
It
That's
was
right.
not. Now, and obviously, this was on the demand services. What's your thoughts on how young should a person be to watch this?
Oh no, you got to be teenager at least. I would not
Are we
recommend
starting
this.
at 16? Are we saying 13?
Yeah,
'Cause I know
yeah.
it's not for children. This is definitely like don't
No.
don't bring your kids to this one.
Oh
Your
gosh,
little kids with the popcorn.
the
But
amount of blood and gore and
yeah,
really crazy ways people get murdered.
it wasn't Blue-Eyed
Definitely.
Samurai. It
Yeah,
wasn't
I
Blue-Eyed
mean,
Samurai gory, but it was bloody.
yeah,
There's a Kill
it's
Bill
pretty
aspect
gory.
here.
And because it's animation, they went over the top with it too. So you really
Yeah.
get to see like some crazy stuff going on. But within the context of the story, it fit. So I wasn't too, sometimes I talk on here and I'm like, ugh, it was just too much. But I didn't feel like that at all on this. I felt like it was justified and the right amount. And then the second season may edge out the first season in terms of the story. You definitely got a better look at Bryce and his journey and Monkey's journey. And a surprise person does a complete shift and becomes a bad guy, and it's like, wow. So
yeah, they really they took you on a winding road here, and I like that about this story.
yeah,
I wasn't knowing what to expect, and they really kind of kept you guessing throughout these episodes. So I highly recommend it. It's it's not the same level of gore to say or gratuitousness that a Blue-Eyed Samurai, which I thought was awesome, but it's a notch below that. But yeah, definitely get your seatbelt on and be ready for a wild ride.
Wild, completely
with
wild and interesting wild.
Yeah, in a good way. This was neat.
Yeah, thumbs up from us. Pow. All right, the dynamic duo also reviewed on Anime Week. The most head turning, like strange but awesome anime, Undead Unluck. It's a manga series come to life. Let's take a peek.
Okay, I think it's about time.
I ain't letting you die. Not since I finally found it. Power capable of giving me a real death. I ain't no zombie. Listen up! I am undead!
If you touch my body, it's coming. My unluck! One touch for just a second! I'll give you the biggest stroke of unluck ever!
Good to know. It means you're on my side. People who negate the basic rules of this world. They're known as negators. Here they come. This is sick. Wicked sick!
Andy saved me. Now it's my turn. We're allowed?
Of course not. Throw on your blazer and be cool. Hopefully no one finds out we're trespassing.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna go first. Oh man, I love this show.
Really?
It really, this is one of the most unique shows I've watched in a long time. I mean, if you thought Hit Monkey was original, man, I have never seen anything like this. I don't get to watch a lot of anime, but I do watch some. And this one, like, I was like, at times, like, what am I watching? But I dig it. I dig it. But it's a really unique and different kind of story. And let me tell you, this was the most unique thing I ever seen. Was one of the monsters was an autobiographical monster, so he would eat people to read their stories, and then he would judge if the stories were interesting or not and turn them into books. And I was like, who thinks like that? That's incredible. And David, hop in, because I'll keep going, but I want to hear what your thoughts is. I think I might know.
Couple things. First, everybody, all right, we kind of know where I'm going now. If I preface it, I don't like manga as a genre generally.
Oh,
I
really?
like G-Force. I really enjoyed that back in.
Oh, I was
in
gonna
the
say,
70s.
don't talk about G-Force now.
G-Force is cool. I like G-Force, but most of it gives me a little bit of an icky feeling with
Huh.
the drawing style. And maybe I'm just going to hell, and I don't know what some of the anime and manga stuff looks like out there. And it's like,
Oh my gosh.
I want to get out of that. I want to pass on that stuff. So for me, I come into this already with a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. I did think that there was some creativity. I'm glad you brought up the autobiographical dude. That is a pretty wild one. I could see that villain though repurposed. That's like we could see that like Star Trek: The Next Generation. I could see something like that popping up in that, or Strange New Worlds. That is a pretty creative thing. But on the whole,
come on.
I would have to say that I was alive, but I was unlucky to have to watch this show.
Oh, boo! But think about the names of the different negators. There's untouchable. There's unrepair. There's unstoppable. I just thought that was so creative too, because each of them kind of embodied that in their real lives, as it were.
Yeah.
And so then the person who was unbreakable, was a cold person in life, or someone who was unrepair was a doctor in real life. And then to have the negator was that they always stopped healing. That was like, I was like, oh wow, that's pretty deep. And
it is deep. It is
and
deep.
then the part of who they're trying to stop, the story is that Fuko she is unluck. So if she touches anyone, they experience great unluck. And part of it is, as a child, both of her parents died. And so unlucky, right? And then she's about to end it all when she meets Andy, who is undead. So he's kind of like a zombie. He can't die. Right. Which then they run into this a cadre of other negators who are trying to stop God because God has created these loops in which humanity is threatened, and so they want to stop that. I was like, whoa, who thinks of that? And so there is another group of negators who are trying to stop them. And so then they're battling that and trying to ultimately stop God from destroying humanity. It's a wild.
It is wild.
It's wild.
Derivative, though, as you described that. The negators, there are so many plots from so many films. There's like, oh, that was like Lindsay Lohan and Chris Pine. That guy. Unbreakable.
No way.
M. Night Shyamalan movie. I mean,
no way.
I mean, so I just
Ah,
again, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one, Pajama. I love you to death, but
oh
I
my
will say
goodness.
I am alive and I'm unlucky for watching
Well,
this. That's
I
for sure.
am lucky, and you would be lucky to watch Undead Unluck. It is truly an original story that I don't think you would find anywhere except
Only
at
in a
least
bag of
my
mushrooms.
experience with maybe there's other manga like this, and I just don't know because I'm not familiar with the genre. But if you want something that you could go, man, I never thought about something like that somebody would use that. This is definitely the series for you, and hopefully we'll get a season 2. There's talk about it. And if you like a lot of episodes in the series, this is the show for
Yeah.
you, because remember they only got through autumn and they needed to defeat four um 4 seasons. So they
Right.
only got to autumn. So there's spring, summer, and winter still ahead. So definitely on my recommendation, check out Undead Unluck. I don't know if it's for kids, but
No, I would say it's
definitely
not for kids.
definitely adults.
Yeah.
Check out something unique and creative and different. And don't we need that in the world, really?
Or
I
we
mean,
could all just be the same and everybody be happy. I don't know. Maybe that.
I don't know. I think we need unrepair on that.
Well played. I walked into that one for sure.
All right. Well, that is it for us this week. Next week, another unique story, Sunny on Apple TV Plus, as well as we're going to check out the new Netflix movie, The Union, with Halle Berry and Mark Wahlberg. So definitely check us out. David, say goodnight to the people.
Everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you have a lot of fun this week. Enjoy what's left of summer. If you haven't seen Deadpool, see it. If you have seen it, see it again. And maybe we'll see if those funds can be donated to help the national debt. I think we can take a chunk out of it if those profits get sent over that way. But have a great week, everybody. We'll be back.
Hey, and check out, and I'm going to do it soon. Check out my video of my first Comic-Con. Woo! And I was able to meet the original voice of Storm, Allison Seeley Smith. So come back and check that out. And we'll see you next time on PJama Life. Take care. Bye.